So this is Paul Murdaugh. Paul Murdaugh is the one that's taking this video, and he's taking this video of his dog because there's like a spot on his tail. I don't know if you can tell. There's better videos out there. But the dog's moving and the tail is wagging. Because the dog is happy, right? But apparently there was like some sort of scab, some sort of, I don't know, something on its tail, and Paul is making a Snapchat video of it saying, "Hey, Mr. Friend of mine who seems to know about things, can you tell me what this scab on my dog's tail, what it means?" And he actually never sent that video. That video never got sent, I think. Because the last time they had talked, they said that they tried to FaceTime or something, and it was lagging. It wasn't very good reception. And he had asked him to go ahead and film this and send the video to him, and then he would determine if he knew something about it or not. Now, what's important about this video is that you hear Alec Murdaugh's voice on it. Now, I'm going to just let this play the whole time, but I'm going to put the audio close to the thing. So they're saying June 7th, 2021, agents with the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division responded to a late night 911 call saying that two people were dead at a residence in Islandtown, South Carolina. Listen up.
At 8:47 p.m. Get back.
There was something in the very beginning where he said something. He says, "Okay, Dad." The guy says something about, "Is there something or something in the thing?" And he's like, "Okay, Dad." So like there was actual... Okay, so that's Maggie, right? So that's the wife. There's a bird in the dog's mouth. He's calling the dog Cash. And then they call him Bubba. And then when he says Bubba, he has a tone with it. But then he goes back to Cash. And Alec Murdaugh is the one that says Bubba. And it's clear as day that it's him. And Alec Murdaugh had told the investigators that he never went to the dog kennels. He's trying to set this whole fucking thing up. And this is his own son has outsmarted him beyond the grave. His own son has outsmarted his father beyond the grave by posting this Snapchat. And the reason why they was even out on the Moselle property, that's another thing. It's like a 2000... Bubba, did you hear that in the background? Bubba, that's Alec Murdaugh. Within 5 minutes, both Maggie and Paul Murdaugh are going to be killed after this video. Within 5 minutes, it was 8:44, 8:45 p.m. And that's important, so it's like there's a 4-hour time, period. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Margaret Maggie Murdaugh, 52, her son Paul Murdaugh, 22, were found dead on the 1,770-acre property where they have a hunting lodge, okay? And there's two that survived, Buster, Richard, and then Alec Murdaugh. Alex Murdaugh, Murdaugh Mortuary. So you have like a 2,000-acre property. A 2,000-acre property. And what the fuck am I supposed to believe? That within 5 minutes of this video being taken, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's possible. Maybe there's just some straggler, maybe some drifter, some sort of crazy. There was something in Pueblo County where the lady had got attacked, and it just seemed like it was just pointless and senseless. And, maybe just somebody saw that she drove a truck to the grocery store or something, so she owns a truck, followed her just to take her vehicle. There's a lot of people stealing vehicles. She tried to stop them, and then that's... So, what am I trying to say here? You got a 2,000-acre property. And only one person knows where these dog kennels are and the cabins and this and that and the fucking property line and this and that. Only 4 people fucking know about it, right? Only 4. Just the 2 sons and the mother and the father. That's it. That's the only people that know where this damn cabin is out in the middle of nowhere. And we got a video of Alec Murdaugh within 5 minutes of the murder. Because they got GPS coordinates on the thing. So they know exactly where this was, where the dog kennels were. This was the so-called Moselle property, the 2,000-acre fucking property. And this is a powerful Murdaugh family. Have been practicing law in South Carolina since 1910. 3 generations have served as solicitors of the 14th Judicial Circuit. Solicitors for more than 86 years. So you're taking down a powerful dynasty here in South Carolina, which is good. I mean, the Murdaughs, these douchebags, even though Paul seems like, or not Paul, Buster is the one that's still alive. Buster seems like an okay, decent guy, somewhat, I guess. I don't know. He's got a nice set of hair, like a nice Kennedy set of hair, nice, hairy set of hair, just, and ginger, right? So that's, my God, you got to put that ginger in that nice set of hair. He's like, if the albinos, anyways, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Paul, oh yeah, in court, he kind of did this thing where he was like pretending to flip off the person, that he didn't like. One of the witnesses for the prosecution. That's not a good look. You don't want to, your father's on fucking trial for goddamn murder. You don't want to, if you're somebody, you don't want your dad, then you don't want to. Don't act criminal, you motherfucker. If you don't want to make it seem like he's a criminal, then you shouldn't be acting criminal. Evil comes from weakness. So Paul had actually got arrested for some sort of boating. This could have just been his father taking care of the situation or something, because Paul had ran into somebody, caused the death of somebody else. And so there's litigation that was up in the air when it came to Paul, who was drunk and he was behind the wheel. And so that means Mallory Beach, 19-year-old Mallory Beach, is going to get thrown off the boat and she's going to drown. She's going to die. So Mallory Beach is basically killed by Paul. He's drunk or whatever, so it's probably an accident. Like 2 or 3 bodies flew out of the boat into the water, but Mallory Beach, they found her body a week later. So he was released on a $50,000 bond, which, okay, $50,000. Paul pleaded not guilty in May 2019, but no trial date has been set. If you actually, the way that motherfucker looks, he looks dumb as shit. Alec Murdaugh, he's slow paced, slow as fucking, like, gravy, incremental glacial gravy. He just looks dumb as shit. I don't believe that golly gee shucks bullshit for a goddamn second. If anything, maybe he's always been golly gee shucks guy, and because he's, pretty decent and nice and just got pushed around too many goddamn times. I think, everybody has a wolf inside them, so no matter how nice and pleasant he might try to make himself seem on the stand, he, just like anybody else, is capable of murdering their wife and their son. He was released on a $50,000 bond, no trial date. No trial date. That was, fucking 4 years ago? 3 years ago? Alec had told Maggie that his 81-year-old father was in failing health and that she needed to see him before he died. Mr. Murdaugh admitted in June 2022 that he owed her sons the full settlement plus lawyer's fees, $4.3 million. And yeah, he also stole an insurance settlement. His maid is going to, they say was accidental. And the death on her death certificate says that she died of natural causes. But the coroner wasn't notified. No autopsy was done. How'd he get a $4 million fucking settlement? And then Alec Murdaugh is trying to take the fucking $4 million. What a piece of shit. I mean, who the hell would have, assumed that your damn insurance thing would have missed Mrs. Satterfield? Mrs. Satterfield. So she's a widow? She's just by herself, and she's a maid for this asshole? And then she falls down, and then, what happens with the accidental fall and then dying of natural? That sounds like he's got connections, and they didn't want to make a big deal about it or something, so he pulled some fucking strings. Alec's brothers appeared on Good Morning America days after the murders, insinuating that Paul was threatened online before his murder, insisting Alec didn't have anything to do with the deaths of his wife and son. So even his own, they're fooled by this golly gee shucks. Golly gee, Wally, I just don't know what happened. I just lured them out in the middle of the Moselle property in the middle of 2000, in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they've been running their mouths. I got a theory about this whole thing, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. When I'm watching the trial, I just see that Alec fucking Murdaugh is sitting there looking at his son Buster with all this fucking, just pride, and he clearly loves Buster. Buster is his. Paul is Maggie's. And so Maggie and Paul are going to team up against, the two. It's going to, I don't know if they played board games. I don't know how. But Paul is Maggie's and Buster is Alec's. And so I don't even know if you really need a specific reason. I don't know if it was premeditated. The only thing I guess I'm wondering is if it's first degree or second degree murder. Was it premeditated? Did he lure them out there just to shoot and kill them? Because he sounds pretty level, pretty, even keeled. He seems pretty sober. Kind of, I guess. He's just saying, Bubba, what do you got? Because he's got chicken in his mouth, which means he got into the chickens, right? They got chickens out there. And then apparently he talked about this on the stand, how he had to go down to the damn dog kennels to get the bird out of the dog's mouth. Like, that wasn't the point. He went all the way to the dog kennels. He was already in the dog kennels. He's a fucking liar. He's a habitual liar. He's lied about every fucking thing under the sun. He even tried a scheme where he tried to get somebody to shoot him so they could collect on the insurance. I guess he saw that the maid had made $4 million on an insurance fucking deal that, did right, but he thought he could do a fraudulent fucking thing. And then the whole thing got botched. It all got fucked up. It looked like they were trying to stage a fucking thing. That's what one of the witnesses who drove by said. It looked like and then there was a gunshot, but they had apparently he said he was going to shoot himself, and then the other guy had grabbed a hold of his hand, and then they just shot up into the air or into the woods or some shit, and it went nowhere. So he's lied about that. He's lied about the fucking insurance fucking fraud. He got disbarred from his fucking thing, so no telling what he was doing with the fucking the prosecution's fucking chair or judge or solicitor. Stephen Smith is also another dead body, a 19-year-old man whose body was found on the road about 10 miles from the Murdaugh home, and it's rumored in innuendo, but apparently Buster and Stephen Smith was having a relationship. That's what the rumor is. And there's blunt force trauma. They said that it was a hit and run. Either way, the official said it was a hit and run, but they questioned it because there's no anything, no tread marks, no stopping this or that, and it doesn't. It's blunt force trauma, but it doesn't seem like it was a hit and run. But it's murder either way, right? Hit and run is a murder. It's a vehicular murder. Could be intentional, maybe negligent, maybe manslaughter, maybe second degree, maybe first degree. Who knows? And in South Carolina, so who knows if those rat bastards know any fucking thing about anything. Fucking Myrtle Beach. Don't go to Myrtle Beach. That's the rape capital of the world. His death has never been fully... South Carolina is also the first fucking state that's seceded out of the Union. The fucking backwards piles of shit. But During Reconstruction, the newly freed black man, he wrote the Constitution. They should implement that Constitution into their... His death was never fully explained. No arrests were made. It was investigated as a possible shooting, then it was considered to be a hit and run. Possible shooting. They suggested that Stephen Smith ran out of gas on the side of the road several miles away from where his body was found. So about this video, cell phone video to a friend, 8:44:55 on the evening of June 7, 2021. So this is the Snapchat video taken near the dog kennels on the family's 1,100 acre hunting ranch. Okay, I thought it was 1,700. We're going between, it's either 1,000 or 2,000 acres. So Alec Murdaugh is trying to fucking make it seem like some random ass homeless drifter is cold and walking around here and there, and then eventually came across. It's ridiculous. I feel like there's no good alternative fucking theory. What the fuck else could have happened? Give me another fucking what else could have happened. Any goddamn theory. A plausible theory. They're saying that people were bullying Paul because he had been charged with the crime. I mean, he, caused the death of a person, so people might have been bullying him because he caused the death of a person. He hadn't been charged with it. So to them, it might have seemed like he was getting away with. So maybe somebody in their family in Mallory Beach, they're saying that Mallory Beach's family somehow has something to do with it. All right, there you go. I don't know if that's plausible or not. I think it sounds like horse shit. What it sounds like to me is it sounds like Alec Murdaugh is actually a bunch of things. He's pissed off that Maggie has the property, the beach house or whatever, all to herself. It's all just in her name. He's real pissed off about that. He's also real pissed off about Paul bringing dishonor, to the family name. Also basically bankrupt him and shit. He pulled all the fucking strings he had to get his son out of that fucking deal. He was drunk. He was driving that fucking boat. He shouldn't have been. He's culpable. Probably should serve some time. 5, 10, 20 years or so. And so he had those charges. Apparently that was coming down the pike, or what happened? It wasn't totally swept under the rug, but Curtis Edward Smith, that was his accomplice in the scheme, the alleged gunman for Alec when they tried to do a suicide insurance fraud attempt. They also had a rough patch in their marriage. Maggie and Alex she was staying at the family's beach house in Edisto Island, which is an hour away from the so-called, Moselle property, from the so-called family's estate. A lot of shit's been going on, right? Motherfucker is sitting there trying to shoot himself and shit, and they're always drinking too, always fucking drunk all the time. Law enforcement source told People Maggie initially declined to meet Alex at the family home. Ultimately, she consented. Planning to follow Alec to the hospital in her own vehicle, though. On her way to the house, Maggie allegedly messaged a friend saying something about her husband's behavior felt fishy. Law enforcement source says he's up to something, Maggie allegedly wrote to her friend. Not long after that, Maggie and Paul were killed. So Alec Murdaugh just seems like a fucking filibuster and an asshole. He just does not seem like he's legit whatsoever. They're in the middle of fucking nowhere. They're in the middle of goddamn nowhere, and I'm supposed to believe that, goddamn one of Mallory Beach's people ran out in the middle of nowhere. No, you could tell. I think he set this whole fucking thing up. He's been a prosecutor. He's been doing this shit forever. He got that. It's all how, the made $4 million. So he thought he could do some kind of insurance scheme. He already tried it fucking once, twice, maybe 3. I mean, maybe, and then, how much more crime, Stephen Smith, how much more dead bodies can you stack at this guy's? He's got at least 3 bodies that you could stack at his door right now before, the wife and the son, before Maggie and Paul got killed. Stephen Smith, Gloria Satterfield, and Mallory Beach. And severe head injury, fell down some steps, which isn't that the typical, oh no, he doesn't beat me, I fell down some steps. No, she doesn't beat, no, I'm not getting beat up, I don't know how to, I'm so clumsy. Gabby Petito had black eye, stereotypical black eye, still happens. They received insurance settlement but didn't receive it. Alec Murdaugh, Chad Westerndorf, and Corey Fleming apparently all tried to steal it. So Gloria Satterfield, they said it was natural, but severe head injury, got $4 million fucking bucks, and then Alec Murdaugh is going to take the money. It shows you how little respect he had for her. Clearly, if you won $4 million from an insurance company, they don't want to pay any settlements out. They'll take you to court than to fucking pay out a $4.3 million. But it must have been so clear cut that. And then Alec Murdaugh was going to fucking try. How the hell did it even get into his hands? They've caught him in a bunch of lies. He was, the dog kennel lie is one of the biggest fucking lies. He lied about the insurance fraud, right? He tried to steal over $4 million of his maid's insurance money. That was all a big lie. He lied about an attempted suicide insurance fraud deal. Another fucking insurance fraud deal. So is this whole thing an insurance fraud fucking kind of deal? I don't know. Is there some sort of way, some sort of passage or something that if the old man shoots all the rest and then you're the only Buster that's alive, then Buster gets it all and then you don't get it all? There is something actually in the Constitution that says that a person who, or Colorado, I don't know if it's America, it could be both, but if a person kills himself, then that doesn't, or if a person is killed, or if a person is thrown in prison for life and his estate is taken away, that doesn't affect his children or something else, or some other people. Bill of Attainder? No, I don't think it's Bill of Attainder. Something else, but meaning that it won't fall on Buster. Buster will inherit all the rest of it. And I mean, hope for the best, imagine the worst. I don't know. This Alec Murdaugh seems pretty fucking guilty to me, I'll be honest. And so the best case scenario for him is life, right? Hopefully he just gets locked up for life, and I don't know if South Carolina has capital punishment, so he gets life. Then the Buster gets the rest of the damn thing, right? So basically, I think Murdaugh's gonna have to pay all the rest of his fucking shit. What a wrangled web we weave when we practice to deceive, right? So I don't know if the estate will be able to pay for all of his fucking things. I don't know if Buster's gonna even actually get any fucking thing. Wasn't that It's a Wonderful Life? It's a Wonderful Life. The father or the man had said or thought that he was worth more dead than alive. So he lied about being by the dog kennels. The night of the fucking murders, they said, did you ever go by the dog kennels? And he said, no, he didn't. He just fucking lies. He's also, when he's on the stand, he seems forthcoming about a lot of stuff about him being on pills and addicted and shit. But I just feel like he's a filibustering, lying, fascist fucking asshole. He's always been treated with respect in that town, and so they're still respecting him and giving him one last fucking, all right, Mr. Lawyer Man, this could be your last fucking courtroom appearance. Let's hear what you got. Ultimately, if we're going to believe in all for one and one for all, we can't take the prosecution side. We can't take the defense side. You have to take the side of the truth. In order to get to love, peace, justice, tranquility, you got to have the truth. All of reality is based upon the foundation of truth. Another tragedy, Randolph Murdaugh III, who died 3 days after the June 7th, 2021 double shooting. So that was his father. The third, right? You had the first, the second, the third. He's the fourth, and then Buster's the fifth. So I think Buster is his favorite, and maybe in his stupid, fucked up mind, this somehow protects Buster. Take it, put it all into his estate. Buster's what, 30-something? Does he have his own property? Did they try to shuffle some money around before all this happened? that could just be a fluke, right? The old man maybe he just died of a fucking, he was kind of ailing anyways, and then all of a sudden, what the fuck his son just shot his, grandson, right? And his daughter-in-law. What'd you just say? And he used him as a patsy, saying, oh, he's ailing, you need to come say his final goodbyes. Well, he lived for another 3 days after the excitement, I guess, just kept him alive. So, I guess that's about any other thing. I think that's a smoking gun. I think that video is a smoking gun. He was at the dog kennels. He said he wasn't. He's a pathological liar. How can you believe a goddamn word that comes out of his mouth? Just because he does that all golly gee, he's like Opie, right? Oh, golly gee, Wally. Opie and the Beeve, right? Opie and the Beeve and just 1950s salted the earth. But you remember the 1950s? Might have looked good for the beaver and all the damn cookie cutter fucking Eisenhower goddamn Caucasia. But what about... It was segregated. We didn't get past segregation until 1964. So it looked like Pleasantville, but there is some sinister shit behind all the... So, anything else? The preamble to the Constitution. Do I have that around? Yeah, I think I might. So what's the point of the law? What's the point of America? What's the point of Colorado? The point of America is to establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense. This is shit that this Murdaugh should know about. He's a lawyer, right? Promote the general welfare, protect our individual freedoms. If you're a good judge and you're a good cop and you're a good... the point of American government is to protect our individual freedoms, to secure the blessings of liberty, our civil liberties. So, the number one reason for America is to form a more perfect union, but it's also to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and to secure the blessings of liberty. That's also there's 6 reasons for Colorado. 5 of the 6 are the exact same: to protect our individual freedoms, to promote the general welfare, to provide for the common defense, to ensure tranquility, and to establish justice. But the number one reason for a Colorado government is to form a more independent and perfect government. So America is about bringing the 50-50 United States and the 14 colonies and 900 military bases together. That's the point of the American Constitution, to keep the 900 military bases and the 14 colonies and the 50 states all together. And to make that union more perfect, make it more and more perfect as time goes on. And the point of Colorado, besides justice, tranquility, common defense, general welfare, and protecting our civil liberties, is to form a more independent and perfect government. I like the idea of aiming towards a perfect government and then more independent. That reflects our perfect federalist system. A more perfect union is what America's trying to do. What Colorado's trying to do is be the best damn republic that, Colorado could fucking be. Be more independent. We are Colorado as Colorado's could fucking possibly be. I mean, there's 49 other fucking states and 14 colonies and 900 military bases. I mean, we're just kind of a one entity, one corporation of a bunch. So we got to be more independent, more perfect government, also justice, tranquility, common defense, general welfare, and protecting our freedoms. Do you think this damn Alec Murdaugh knows any of this shit? Does he know the preamble to South Carolina? Does he know the preamble to the American Constitution? When Paul killed that person, his father and grandfather and his mother all rushed to the scene. They hid beer and guns that were in the truck before the police got there. So they're sitting there trying to fucking scrub the damn thing. They told her she shouldn't have. They're bleaching. They're cleaning up everything, right? I mean, this is almost methodical after the fact that they're aiding and abetting, which could have gotten Paul in trouble with the law. She says few details were released about the attack. No arrest. Islantown, a rural hamlet 65 miles west of Charleston. Maggie consulted a divorce lawyer